European eel. Nobody has ever seen this animal have babies. Not once, not in recorded history, despite scientists trying to track it down for over a century. Every European eel alive today was born in the same place, the Sargasso Sea, a patch of ocean in the middle of the Atlantic with no coastline at all. From there, as microscopic larvae, they drift on ocean currents for months, sometimes years, before finally reaching the coastlines and rivers of Europe. They grow, they mature, some living 20, even 50 years in fresh water. And then, one day, something inside them changes. Their eyes grow larger, their skin thickens, their digestive system shuts down completely because they won't eat again. Then they swim back thousands of kilometers, all the way to the Sargasso Sea, to do the one thing no human has ever documented, and then presumably they die. The species is now critically endangered, and after decades of research, nobody still knows exactly how they find their way home. Electric eel. Despite the name, this isn't actually an eel at all. It's more closely related to catfish, grouped in a completely different family, and calling it an eel is basically a case of a bad nickname that stuck for centuries. What it can genuinely do, though, is generate over 600 volts in a single burst, more than enough to stun a horse standing in shallow water. It doesn't just deliver one shock either. In 2021, researchers filmed a group of them coordinating attacks together, herding fish into a tight ball before discharging at once. Living almost entirely in the slow oxygen poor waters of the Amazon and Orinoco basins, it has to surface every few minutes just to gulp air because its gills alone can't keep it alive. Genetics only confirmed in 2019 that what scientists thought was one species is actually three. Moray Eel. Poke your head out of a crevice in a coral reef, mouth open, gaping wide, and most divers assume they're looking at pure aggression. They're not. That constant gape is just how a moray breathes, pumping water over its gills, because unlike most fish, it can't do that by pushing water through its mouth while swimming. Hidden further back is something stranger still, a second set of jaws sitting deep in the throat that shoot forward to grab prey and drag it down in one motion. It's the only known animal that hunts this way, and researchers only confirmed how it worked in 2007, decades after morays had already become one of the most recognizable reef predators on Earth. Despite the reputation, morays rarely attack humans first. Some populations have even been documented hunting cooperatively with groupers, one flushing fish out of the reef, while the other waits to strike. A partnership between two species that don't normally share a single meal. Gulper Eel. Its mouth alone can be bigger than the rest of its entire body combined. Living in the crushing dark of the deep ocean, sometimes past 3,000 meters down, this eel solved a very specific survival problem. Food is scarce down there, so when something edible finally drifts by, you can't afford to be picky about size. Its jaw unhinges and expands like a balloon, swallowing prey far larger than what its narrow, ribbon-thin body should ever be able to handle. Nothing goes to waste. At the very tip of its tail sits a small, light-producing organ, a lure it flashes in the darkness to draw in curious fish. Its eyes, meanwhile, are almost useless, tiny and underdeveloped, because down here in permanent blackness, sight barely matters at all. Snipe Eel. Imagine a pair of tweezers grew a body and learned to swim. That's roughly what this deep sea eel looks like, with a long, thin, curved beak that never fully closes, no matter how hard it tries. The gap isn't a flaw, it's the entire hunting strategy. Tiny backward-facing teeth line the inside of that jaw, built specifically to snag the whisker-like antennae of shrimp drifting past in open water. Once caught, it can't easily pull free, and the eel simply works its catch forward toward its throat. Its body, impossibly thin and sometimes stretching well over a meter, seems almost too fragile for the relentless pressure it lives under every day. And yet, it thrives down there, built entirely around a mouth that was never supposed to fully close. Garden eel. After 5 eels built around jaws, shocks, and ambush, this one just wants to be left alone. Found in colonies along sandy seafloors in warm coastal waters, garden eels spend almost their entire lives with their tails buried in the sand, only the upper half of their body ever exposed. From a distance, an entire colony swaying together in the current looks exactly like a field of grass, which is exactly where the name comes from. They feed by simply waiting, plucking plankton out of passing water without ever fully leaving their burrow. The moment a shadow passes overhead, though, the whole colony vanishes at once, sliding straight down into the sand within a second, leaving nothing behind but empty seafloor. No animal on this list is harder to actually get close to, and ironically, none of them were ever trying to hurt anyone in the first place.